Hey guys, welcome to my bullet journal setup for February. I'm doing a bit of a candle theme this time in honor of Imbolc, which is February 1st. It is a Sabbath on the wheel of the year, and it kind of notes those first little hints of spring. First here we'll have a little flip through January, which was just kind of centered on just the magic of things. I really enjoyed my mood and gratitude, but my habit tracker, I just wasn't a huge fan of the way that I did it. I also want to switch up a little bit of my weekly spreads because I just needed a little bit different orientation of the space. So we're going to go ahead and start with our main page. I did a little bit bigger boxes this time. My last boxes were 5x5 and I went ahead and expanded that to 6x6 this time. Now for the dates in this calendar, I just went ahead and wrote the numbers really big in the squares, nothing too perfect, nothing too fancy, and then I will go ahead and write over the numbers just to kind of give a more dynamic look to the spread. And here we go with the trusty Kraft paper. I'm going to go ahead and write February 2019 on there. In a little while, you're going to see me color it in. I kept looking at the spread and I was like, oh, the brown just kind of clashes more with the orange than I want it to. So I went in and I colored it with my Tombow pen. I would recommend doing it beforehand if you do decide to do this, simply because it marked up a little bit on my page, but I mean, not too bad. You really have to stare at it to see it. But if you like it to be a little more neat and not have that, definitely color it in before you paste it on there, just to prevent that. And here I'm just lining every other space, and then I noticed that the top just looked a little empty, so I went ahead and did the very top and then every other line coming down. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to put a picture. It is a woman with a blindfold walking with the candle in her hand, and I just kind of cut it up into strips and pasted it here. I'm going to link below all the tools that I use, as well as a link to all the pictures, which I just find on Pinterest, you guys. These are for personal use, so I just grab them and make it pretty. Throughout this spread, you're going to see these little skinny candles that I'm drawing. You guys, this is a simple doodle, just a circle, little bitty circle, draw some lines down it, little line and a flame. I just kept it super simple. Anybody can make these simple cylinder shapes. So after applying some washi tape, I am just going to be kind of connecting the segments of the pictures with just some simple lines down. I'm going to be honest, I wasn't super excited about the way that the top part right here came out. So I was just kind of trying to make it to where I liked it a little more. You can keep it whatever way you like if you decide to do this. But I just found that the lines behind it were a little harsher than I wanted them to be. I even tried going over it with my clear Tombow to see if it would kind of lighten up and smear it a little bit, but it totally didn't. I'm not upset with the way that it came out. I still think it looks pretty cool. It's just, I wish maybe I would have, instead of lined it, maybe just scribbled instead. The background versus having the harsh lines. So that's always an option if you are looking to kind of switch up the back. On the side, I have a really small goal section. I just wanted my top 3 things that I wanted to accomplish for the month of February. And then at the bottom, I just have some more candles, same idea, the little cylinders, and a next month section, just in case I need to jot some stuff down for March. So there you have February looking a little more cohesive. On to the next page, mood and gratitude tracker. I was really happy with the way that my January one came out. I found it really aesthetically pleasing to me. The only thing that I changed was I had my mood from 0 to 5, and I thought that was a little much. I felt maybe 0 to 4 would be a little better. And that gave me a little more room to write what I was thankful for, because even when I'm trying not to be wordy, I'm pretty wordy. Now here I went to try and write mood over the picture in my white pen, but I have a lot of trouble with this pen. It's the Uniball, and I usually really like it, but I always find that it leaves a line in the middle, and it just kind of bugged me. So I went over it with my masking tape and washi tape and just made it off to the side. Wrote it off to the side instead. So if you guys are wondering about the size of this chart, let me give you those numbers real quick. For the first column that has the dates all the way down, that is 2 columns wide. I just do that to make the numbers a little bit bigger and not really squish them in, because I found they became muddy when I tried to do that. So I left it a little bit of breathing room. For the second column, I used 5 spaces. That way I could write 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 in a box of their own. And then the rest I just kind of left open to write what I'm thankful for. Now I noticed last time writing in the thankful section, I just kind of wanted to break it up a little bit, but I didn't want to put lines, because again, I feel like if I wrote lines, it kind of muddies it up. It makes it a little harder, the words kind of blur in. So this time I decided to just line it with the Tombow marker to differentiate each line and kind of keep it clear. So here I'm moving on to my habit tracker. My last habit tracker, the way that I set them, I just didn't care for the look of it. I didn't find it as functional as I thought it was going to be. I was like, oh, it's a really neat look to have all the boxes kind of laid out in like half and half, but it really just didn't work for me. I also changed some of my habits this month. I tried to do closing my rings on my Apple Watch last month, as well as my steps, but here's the deal. I don't always wear my watch. So there are some days where I'm like, I have no idea if I did that. I just don't wear it as a habit. Maybe I should, maybe I'll try, but I feel like I can't mark in those spaces if I don't wear my watch, so that's like an added thing. So I changed it. So I have here this month self-care, art, nature, which is just going outside, being up at 6 a.m., playing, that's a big one, and of course cooking supper. I'm just trying not to eat out as much, so that's what that means there. I did it in the form of just little calendars, and while this takes a hot minute to do, I feel like this is going to be a little bit more functional. Now, I left the numbers open. What I'm going to go in and do is just kind of color in the square, but I'm not going to mark out the squares. Again, I just have this big issue with it just kind of looking too cluttered. So I kind of wanted to give it that breathing room here as well. Here at the bottom, I have another piece of craft paper that I colored with a candle picture and a quote from Anne Frank that says, "Look at how a single candle can both defy and define the darkness." And then after that, I'm going to go in on the other side in my mood and gratitude tracker and just kind of ink in some little candles at the bottom. Now on to my weekly spread. So, fair warning, I totally screwed this up. I have my week at the top. It's going to say 5 in just a second when I put in the number with my Tombow pen. But you can see my week 5, I put February 1st and 2nd instead of 1st through 3rd because I forgot about Sunday. This does trickle onto my week page, but you'll see me go back and I white out and I redo and I make a little quick fix in this one. There's the number 5. So at the top, I have a note section. I have a very open, long kind of plan this month. I saw this somewhere on Pinterest and I thought I'm going to adopt this, but change a couple of things about it to suit me. That way I have more of a place to write down than across because I find my days get a little muddy. I like using that word this time, right? Muddy. They get crowded, you guys. It just gets a little crowded because I have so much that it won't fit all the way down, so then I go to the side, but I just don't like the look of it. So I did this one where they would have a longer space. At the bottom, these boxes are my water intake. I always put 8 to make sure that I'm at least drinking 8 glasses of water a day. Doesn't always happen, but I try. Then I have my trusty little candles again and a to-do box. On the other side, I am going to do here an Imbolc altar planning space. So these are just going to be a list of things that I want to make sure that I get on my altar. I usually change it for every Sabbath or add to it, subtract from it. So you're going to see here just a little list of the things that I want to make sure that I get on my altar, followed by a picture of a candle again that I found on Pinterest, some washi tape, some craft paper, and a beautiful quote that says, "Darling, you must choose every day to walk boldly with your candle, for even the meekest flame can part the darkness." So here we go on to week 6, same idea at the top, the number with week written over it. So at the top here, I went ahead and put some tasks and then notes on the other side. I'm again leaving this very open. Now I can always add little circles to the inside if I fill up all my little tasks as well as my notes, but I just kind of wanted to leave it open. I have February, again, wrong, 3rd through 9th. It's supposed to be 4th through 10th at the top. And then I kind of went in the middle with all of my weekdays. I believe it's right at the 15th block mark. And then at the top, Saturday is in the 3rd, followed by Sunday at the bottom. It's going to be 5 spaces down from where like Friday is. Again, at the bottom, there comes my water. I put a double block underneath the Saturday, Sunday, that way I have them both, and some little candles underneath February. And here we go, the moment of truth as I go to write in my events. I'm like, wait a second. Saturday's the 9th, not Sunday. So I go in and fix it. So 8 spaces below Saturday, I'll go ahead and put Sunday the 3rd. I add in my boxes above Sunday. Now, I don't show myself correcting the 1-2 to 1-3, but I did do that. And then I go in on my other week and I blot out my little numbers and rewrite it. Luckily, I didn't have to like restructure my whole page. Just a little bit of whiteout. No big deal. So there we go, guys. Another look and flip through of February. If you guys decide to do any of these, please be sure to put a link in the comments, or you can find me on Instagram, a bunch of different links below. Be sure to tag me at Gray Moon Mystic. I would love to see if you guys decide to redo this. I had a lot of fun making this one, and I hope you guys enjoyed as well. We'll talk to you guys real soon. Bye-bye.